Could we just take a minute to make sure that our presentation is in order before we start? Thank you. Alright. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are 4BB Consulting, and here we are today to advise Greenlight Lighting Corporation on how to make the best use of its future opportunities as at January 2011. We hope that the recommendations we provide today are slightly more unique than the cover slide to my right. As previously, pardon me, my name is Arnav. These are my colleagues Lachlan, Philip and Cameron. As previously mentioned, Greenlight has a series of opportunities available to them, and they have developed extremely strong core competencies in their 20 years of operation. First of all, they've got a quality cost system in place. This can be seen with the volatile sales in the 2008 to 2009 years, yet earnings after tax managed to increase. Secondly, Greenlight has a stronghold in the US CFL market. This can be seen by capturing 12% of the CFL market in the United States. And finally, Greenlight prides itself on maintaining innovation. This is particularly seen through 2011, where they actually introduced new products like shadowproof CFLs and a wide range of LED bulbs. So provided that Greenlight can utilise these strengths, it should be a promising future. There are a series of opportunities available for Greenlight in the future. Significantly, we see that sales of incandescent light bulbs are actually decreasing significantly, meaning that there's a lot of room for energy-efficient light bulbs to come in, which is Greenlight's strength. Secondly, there's the opportunity to enter new markets. And finally, we also see, particularly within the product segment of LED light bulbs, that there is strong market growth. So we evaluated a series of recommendations to best capitalise upon each of these opportunities. And after whittling them down and further benchmarking strategies such as moving the supply base to Mexico, as well as maybe expanding upon the solar business, we decided to increase our product distribution by entering the retail channels, increasing our market penetration through the introduction of headlamps for electric cars, and finally introducing new products, specifically LED street lamps. I'd now like to pass on to my colleague Lachlan, who will be talking about our first recommendation.
Thank you, Arnav. So the first recommendation we're wanting to bring forward is for Greenlight to broaden its retail market, and through this access $1.45 million US in net present value. Arnav has already spoken to the large reason for driving this recommendation. Ultimately, public policy is pushing for energy efficient products. We're seeing the halogen products really dropping down, and ultimately all these products need to be replaced through CFLs and through LED lighting. That $3.5 million US in sales there is going to be diverted towards these LED lighting and CFL products, where Greenlight really does have key competencies. The problem at the moment for Greenlight is their distribution methods, their routes to market, do not fall in line with how individuals purchase incandescent products. 98.5% of incandescent product sales are in store. At the moment, Greenlight is online, Amazon, their own online store. They also sell to large utility companies, but they really don't have this large in-store presence. So in terms of accessing these customers who are now changing the lights they buy, it's really important to gain that physical platform so that Greenlight can access this revenue growth. Ultimately, in terms of capturing this market and this physical platform required, the three main options we considered were an acquisition, a partnership, or a greenfield approach. Now, with considerations to the fact that Greenlight is a company with 25 people and the staffing required to pursue each of these options, also very financially conservative in their operations and business conservative, and finally, the change required to the business structure. Ultimately, the partnership option was the easiest and most risk-effective for Greenlight to target its retail platform. Of course, that's not enough to just say partnership. It's important who we partner with. So the companies we weighed off against each other, amongst many others, were Bed Bath & Beyond, Home Depot and Costco. It was very important to make sure there was going to be minimal cannibalisation of the current distribution, the current revenue generators, as said, the utilities and online, that there wasn't going to be a large impact on the margin, and of course it was important that the location was a solid fit. So at the moment, Bed Bath & Beyond was the option that we recommended to go forwards with. Really doesn't have a very strong online platform at all, so there's not going to be any reduction to online sales margins. And finally, since Linen & Things has gone out of business, they really don't have any direct competitor. So yes, you can buy light bulbs, but in terms of that particular niche market, the range they operate in, really don't have a large degree of competitors, and as such, the margins aren't going to be squeezed quite the same way. Essentially, in doing this, we've analysed that you can actually, Greenlight can receive 3 to 4 times the revenue per light bulb sold than currently is in place through the utility companies. And as said, important to any partnership recommendation is making sure that every player involved does see these benefits. So Greenlight, they get an increased platform for these LED and CFL product sales. The manufacturers have increased purchase orders and are less likely then to move in to become direct competitors as their profitability goes up. The customers, they have easy, convenient access to the products. They're not waiting 24 to 48 hours. They're not having to go online and make the decision. The product is there. And finally, Bed Bath & Beyond, needing to replace $37.8 million in sales through incandescent products. We see with Bed Bath & Beyond, through their current CFL products, there is a minimal number of suppliers, but when we look at some of their other products that they do sell, as a product becomes more important to Bed Bath & Beyond's revenue streams, they increase their number of suppliers. And so it is very feasible that Greenlight will be able to provide units as they seek to make up this revenue difference. Implementation takes place through negotiations, trial placements, and then ultimately, as these public policies come into effect, full integration within Canadian and American stores by 2015. Ultimately generating a net present value, again, of $1.45 million over the 5-year time horizon. I would now like to pass on to Philip, who will speak through our increased market penetration strategy.
Thank you, Lachlan. Now, Lachlan's just focused on a strategy that is aimed at increasing our CFL sales. However, we do feel the need to diversify our revenue streams. Currently, the vast majority of our revenues come from CFL sales. However, as CFLs become increasingly commoditised and as new players enter the market, we see prices and margins dropping. So if Greenlight does want to keep its market position and keep its margins, we do see the need to enter new markets. Now we also feel the need to look at new marketing strategies. As we enter a new market, we do see the opportunity to increase our Greenlight's brand awareness and its exposure to new retail customers. Now, as using Philips as an example, we can see that small incremental increases in marketing budgets, when done wisely, can greatly increase the brand value of the company. Now, Greenlight does have a very large focus on marketing. It is one of the very few North American lighting companies with its own graphics department. However, many of its current marketing strategies are becoming increasingly ineffective. For instance, coupons, one of its main forms of marketing, have decreased in redemptions and effectiveness by 10% in the last year alone. Now, we did focus on many different markets to enter. However, look at car companies as the key driver for growth, especially due to the marketing opportunity through the exposure to retail customers that it offers. It also offers the opportunity to work with large, well-funded customers, which are the type of customers that Greenlight has the most exposure and experience with. In the end, we looked at partnering with an energy-efficient car company due to, of course, the opportunity to work with large customers, as well as the ability to diversify our funding sources and to market to key demographics, as the people who are buying energy-efficient cars are the same type of people who would be looking to buy energy-efficient light bulbs. Now, we did look at 3 different car companies and cars to partner with. However, we believe that the Chevy Volt would be the best possible partner for Greenlight. Now, we looked at 2 main criteria in making this choice. The first being, of course, whether or not the car currently has high intensity discharge light bulbs, which are the current headlamp that Greenlight produces. It does already produce HID headlamps, however they are currently aftermarket products, so people buy them individually and place them in their cars. We would like to see this happening on the production line with every Chevy Volt. Now the second benchmark that we looked at was the ability of the headlamp supplier to currently produce HID headlamps. Now currently Chevy's current headlamp supplier, which is Neolight ZKW, Indian-based supplier, doesn't have the capability to produce HID headlamps. So were Chevy to decide on opting for this option, we believe that Greenlight would be the best possible partner for them. Now the great thing about this is that Chevrolet and its customers benefit just as much from the transaction as Greenlight does. Currently the Chevy Volt's range could be as low as 25 miles, which according to a study from Osram, one of Greenlight's main competitors, placing HID headlamps in it could increase the range by up to 12%, giving Chevrolet customers the opportunity to go further in their travels. Another concern of many Chevrolet customers is that the headlamps are currently too dim. If Greenlight were to install its current HID headlamps, it could increase their brightness by up to 200%, tripling the light output while still saving energy. Lastly, HID headlamps produced by Greenlight currently have a lifetime of up to 2,000 hours, twice as long as the current Chevrolet headlamps. So that means that were Greenlight to provide these headlamps to Chevy Volt customers, that would be giving them the opportunity to go farther, to be safer, to drive easier. Now, apart from the sales due to the headlamps, we also see this as a marketing opportunity for Greenlight, specifically through an intensive marketing campaign pre-release of the Chevy Volt and increasing their current marketing opportunities after that, which we see with an end goal of making Greenlight synonymous with the Chevy Volt and with a local energy efficient light bulb supplier. In terms of implementation, we see this the majority of the implementation occurring early on as Greenlight forms its partnership with Chevy and starts the joint marketing campaign for the Volt and for Greenlight's products with an end goal of $7.5 million in revenues and a net present value of $2.6 million. The key drivers of which being, of course, the annual sales of up to 38,000 volts per year and a 10% customer conversion rate to Greenlight's retail light bulbs. Now this is focusing on marketing to retail customers and to large auto companies, and I'll hand over to Cameron now to speak about looking at entering the municipal lighting market.
Thank you, Philip. My colleague Lachlan has spoken earlier about how Greenlight can position itself to best capture a share of the uptick, the projected uptick in the sale of CFL and LED light globes with the rollout of the banning of the sale of incandescent globes. And Philip has just spoken about how by partnering with the Chevy Volt that Greenlight would be able to bring its products to its consumers and broaden its brand conceptions. Now I'm here today to talk about what Greenlight is going to do specifically with the LED market. We do see here with the chart on the left that the LED market segment is actually the fastest growing lighting segment in the world, growing from a current 3% in 2010 to 2015, 16%. We do see this as the fastest growing segment. Now, Greenlight does currently operate in the LED market segment. It has around 4 or 5 product offerings, and these are primarily tailored towards residential and commercial settings. However, comparatively with the CFL product offerings, we do see that Greenlight does offer dozens upon dozens of CFL bulbs, and in much the same usage situations, primarily residential and commercial uses. We do see here on the right that LED lights actually do have a broader range than CFL, comparatively broader range of usage situations, such as the use of growth lights in agriculture, street lights and traffic lights. So we do feel that for Greenlight to benefit from the uptick in the sale of LED lights, they do need to find a way to create a product or find a product that can benefit from this uptick without cannibalizing the sale of its existing CFL offerings. Now, when we did approach this question, we did benchmark a range of potential markets for Greenlight to bring its LED products into. Specifically, yes, the street lights, traffic lights, and agriculture. But we did end up recommending for Greenlight to go into the LED street light market. And this is primarily driven by the wrapped market in this particular market segment. When a city in North America or in Canada, in some parts of these places, when they need to purchase a new streetlight, they're actually required by law to purchase from the monopolistic utility company in the area. For example, in California, a Californian city has to purchase streetlights from PG&E, and this is actually a company that Greenlight has a pre-existing relationship with in the distribution of CFL bulbs to its home residential users. As a result, we do see this as being particularly beneficial and something that we can build off this pre-existing relationship. Now, obviously, in terms of growth, we do see that a lot of cities are actually looking right now to implement LED streetlights in their cities. They've actually fully tested and performed pilot programs, and they're looking for suppliers right now. And this is obviously a great opportunity for Greenlight. Just the way we do see this best working for Greenlight, as I did mention, there is a pre-existing relationship with these utilities companies, and we also do have relationships with the suppliers of LED lights. Specifically, you can see here Elcoma, it's an industry body of Indian light manufacturers, and we have partnered, Greenlight has partnered with them in the past for residential LED lights. They do have the capabilities to make LED street lights, and it would also have the added benefit of diversifying Greenlight's supplier base away from primarily India, primarily China, where they are a little bit overexposed, and obviously there are rising wages and costs in that area. And just going forward, we do see a range of potential cities that are looking for LED streetlights now, primarily in the west coast of the United States, as well as in British Columbia and Canada. Now, obviously, this is a particularly beneficial situation for all the parties involved. Greenlight does actually get a way of capturing some of the uptick in LED revenue without cannibalizing its existing sales of CFL products. The utility companies also get a share of this booming market, and primarily this is about the cities who actually realise a 60% reduction in streetlight energy usage by installing these LED streetlights. And actually, many of these cities do have eco-friendly targets and emissions reduction targets. By installing one LED streetlight, they do actually save 160 kilograms of CO2 emissions per year. Now, the way we do see this working for Greenlight is they do actually need to contact these utilities companies to go forward. We do see an initial rollout in the California area as being a particularly good first step into this market, with later potential rollout into Canada. In terms of an end goal, we do see potentially Greenlight selling 75,000 LED streetlights by 2015, with 25% of those sourced from India. Now, obviously, undertaking this strategy would actually generate a net present value for Greenlight of 1.59 million, with obviously the 75,000 sales and a purchase price of $185. Now, just in the interest of corporate integrity, there is actually a bit of a typographical error on this slide. As you can see, the cost drivers, we are actually purchasing these LED lights for more than we're selling them. It's actually meant to be $162 with a margin of $23. I'm sorry about that. So, yeah, I've just spoken about how Greenlight would best be able to capture this upsurging LED market by looking into selling LED streetlights. I'd just like to pass on to Arnav now, who will conclude our presentation.
Thank you, Cameron. These three strategies in conjunction will allow Greenlight to meet its sales objective of $30 million per year within 2 years. As a whole, the three strategies together will add 16.9% to Greenlight's current enterprise value over the next 5 years. And each strategy is independent of each other. Also looking at revenue breakdown, as I mentioned previously, within 2 years of commencing these strategies, we will be able to, Greenlight will be able to receive more than $30 million in revenue per annum. And the assumption that we've done for the current business is based on the North American lighting market McKinsey report. In terms of risks, there are a number of risks involved with each strategy, and most importantly, there is a significant external risk. That risk being that pressure explodes from China and Chinese manufacturers actually move into the USA market. The strategy that Cameron outlined, the LED streetlight strategy, will actually help mitigate this risk by diversifying the current supply base and therefore moving it more to India. If further precautions needed to be taken, we would conduct a feasibility study as well on Central America. All of these recommendations can be implemented straight away, and I'd just like to highlight that even though HID headlamps receive positive cash flows the latest, they are the longest strategy available, and they have it coming back in the long term. Finally, we'd like to say that the strategies that we propose today hopefully allow Greenlight to actually meet their sales targets and make sure that the future is looking bright. We would now like to open the panel to any questions that they may have, and thank you for your your time.
Thank you very much, Melbourne. 10 minutes starts now.
Question about your automotive strategy, involved. I guess I'm just wondering, there's a big difference between somebody in the street going in and buying a retrofit bulb because of the reputation of a green light and what they know about the company, and being able to convince a manufacturer like General Motors or whoever to fit them. What are your thoughts about that? Because it seems as a big leap there. What's your comment on that?
Sure. Would you mind if I ask you to specify whether it's an issue of convincing them to convert to our products?
Yeah, I guess let me be more specific. Why wouldn't GM or Ford go straight to a bulb manufacturer? Because Greenlight is not a bulb manufacturer. It's basically an intermediary trader. And big OEMs like that, I just think they'd go straight to the manufacturer, they'd go straight to China, the guys actually making the bulb. They don't want somebody in between. And that's the threat I see, the risk I see with that.
Well, currently the headlamp supplier for General Motors is Neolite ZKW, who do operate in essentially the same sphere as Greenlight. They are essentially an intermediary. So we believe that as they do currently operate with intermediaries, we don't see that there's going to